Patchalong 5.0. This is block number 7. Today we are going to be quilting using my Sway 4 machine quilting ruler. You can pick this up on our website, peaceandquilt.com. And we're also going to be doing a bit of marking with the blue Mark Be Gone marker. Let's hop over to my Gamble 22-inch machine and let's get stitching. Welcome to the 9 Patchalong 5.0. In this series, we'll explore 9 unique 9-patch machine quilting designs, perfect for quilters of all skill levels. To get started, you'll need a few essential materials and supplies. We'll be using the Sway machine quilting rulers available at peaceandquilt.com and marking our quilts with the blue Mark Be Gone marker. To remove the marks, mist the area with a solution of 1 cup water and 1 teaspoon baking soda, repeating as necessary until the marks are completely gone. The batting we will use is Quilter's Dream Wool, and the threads are So Fine and the Super Bob bobbins. All of my quilting is done on a Gamble 22-inch machine, stitching in the stitch regulated mode at 13 stitches per inch. Each design is taught by me, Natalia Bonner, using these machine quilting rulers, ensuring you achieve the best results. Quilters of all skill levels and machine types are welcome to join, but you must have a machine in good working condition, a basic knowledge of ruler quilting, a ruler foot, and base plate. Additionally, the piecing pattern and design workbook for this series are available for purchase at peaceandquilt.com. Let's get started and create some beautiful quilts together. I'll start block number 7 like I've started many of the other blocks, using that long straight ruler that I purchased from the Quilted Pineapple. Through each of my 9-patch blocks, you're going to see that I'm going to be marking first a straight line horizontal right through the center of each of those blocks. Then I'll adjust my ruler, and now I'm going to mark, using that blue Mark Be Gone, a straight line that is vertical through the center of each of these blocks. Now you can see here I'm using the blue Mark Be Gone marker. It's the marking tool that I love, that I personally have found really great success with. But you will see I am going to make sure that line is marked very heavily because I am marking blue on blue fabric. Whenever you're using the Mark Be Gone marker, make sure that your markings are removed 100% before you apply any heat, which may require getting that wet multiple times. Alright, once I have that marking complete, now I'm ready to start doing a bit of quilting. We're quilting here on 4-inch blocks, so let's use the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler. I'm using that circle end on the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler. Through the end of the ruler, there is a straight line. So I'm lining that straight line that's right through the center up, and I'm holding that on top of the ditch. By doing this, I can stitch right around that curve and stitch a perfect 4-inch curve. So once I've stitched that first curve, I'll travel up my ditch using the straight side of the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler, and I'm going to repeat that process. So notice how I stitched up the ditch and then along, and then stitch that second curve. Now to create this block design, I'm actually alternating my curves. So I'm still working with the Sway 4 as I move to my next block, but this time notice how I'm changing the direction of those half circles that I'm quilting. So I'll stitch that second curve. So it's the first curve on my second block. Then again, I'm going to travel across my ditch, use the circle end of the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler again, and stitch that next curve. So the thing to pay attention to with this block is to make sure that you're alternating the direction of these curves. This is definitely a design that if I'm quilting this on a lot of blocks, I will go through and do a bit of marking just for reference points. I know where my curves are going to go, and I kind of have an idea what it's going to look like, but sometimes I can just get all messed up in my own head. So if you need to go through and mark out, there is definitely nothing wrong with that. So you can see here now that I've moved on to my third block. Again, I'm using that circle end on the Sway 4 machine quilting ruler, lining up the center marked line right on top of the ditch, and then stitching the curve around that line. Once I have those first 3 blocks completed, now I'm traveling over to my second set of 3 blocks. Now you can follow the path that I'm following here exactly. This is a point where I do recommend using your companion design workbook. And as I'm stitching out this designs, as you're sitting here watching or standing this video, make notes, draw directional arrows so that you know exactly how you want to quilt this design without overstitching. Although I do definitely do a little bit of overstitching, which is why I love to use the So Fine thread, because if I do end up having overstitching, it kind of seems to blend in really nicely. And even here I'm using a pretty light color of thread, and you can see just how beautifully it blends in. So on that second row, now I've quilted out that first block. Once that block's complete, I'll use my ditch as my travel stitch, traveling right to the center of the block where I'll repeat this process. And I'm going to continue repeating these designs as I work my way through each of these 4-inch squares on my 9-patch quilt block. So here I'm showing you, and really all of these designs I'm showing on 9-patch blocks, but the concepts I want you to get from this. First of all, how awesome the Sway machine quilting rulers are, and the possibilities are endless. But also, you can quilt these designs. Let's say you have a whole quilt that's just patchwork. Use these designs across that whole entire quilt. If you have a whole entire quilt that is 16 patches or 4 patches or even 2 patches, you can do these same designs. I love to see how you take the concepts that I share in these free classes and make them your own. And one more little thing. I just have to keep talking. One more little thing. You can repeat this same process. Here I'm using the Sway 4 because I'm using 4-inch blocks, but you could quilt the same designs using the Sway 3 on 3-inch blocks, the Sway 5 on 5-inch blocks. I'll repeat that process until I have completed each of those curves through this entire block. I absolutely love how this block turned out. It's a little bit more simplistic, but it is just gorgeous. I can't wait to move on to the 9 Patchalong 5.0 block number 8. See you there!